Welcome to the Zoom. We're going to start you off with a question from Olin Buchanan from Texas.
Yeah, a couple things, Buzz. First of all, gosh, that one three-pointer there at the end that went off the rim by Quentin, is that the way you drew it up? Because it looked like everything worked out right. And did you think it was going down? Because it looked like you had a good shot at it.
Yeah, it was a draw. Thanks for asking. We had not run it since we have been here. It's exactly what we wanted. Our guys did a great job. Down three, side out, short clock, exactly what we wanted. I don't necessarily watch Olin the flight of the ball. I always watch a shooter's feet. And so I was watching Q's feet. I thought his feet were lined up. So in my opinion, it was a good shot. And it was the shot we wanted. We were trying to shoot and make a three to tie the game. How much time was on the clock side out when we ran that? What were we down, 81 to 78?
Right. I don't have it here in my notes. I'm going to have to go back and look at it.
Well, it was under 2 minutes, wasn't it?
I think it might have been under one.
It could have been.
One, yeah. And then I wanted to ask you about the way y'all played in these last two games and then going back to the Kansas State game. Did you have any kind of inclination or feeling that your guys were about to start making a surge or showing that improvement similar to the way y'all did last year in the second half of the season?
Olin, I don't know how to discern or articulate the right answer to that because I've never experienced it, nor has any player or staff member been through what we have been through. That's not to say that we're the only ones that have went through something like that. I know it's happened to multiple programs throughout the country. What I will say is I think on Wednesday against Mississippi State, we were better than we were on January the 30th against K-State. And what took place from K-State until Mississippi State was 3 practices with our team and 8 practices with parts of our team, 3 of those 8 with only 4 scholarship players. Our style of play is completely brand new. Our first rep of that style was against Mississippi State. And I think today, we were better today than we were on Wednesday. We took Thursday off physically. We didn't have to from a compliance standpoint, but we did because it's another category of what you're unsure of when you go 30 plus days and don't play, and many kids don't even have consecutive practices. For us to play a 200-minute game the way that we did on Wednesday, I thought it was the right thing. It's our first road game since January, so we had practice yesterday morning prior to leaving. So it's hard to know, you're excited to play, and you wonder when your gas tank is going to run out of gas after the energy of the excitement. And then you don't know today, okay, how is their response from Wednesday going to be? Because it's the first time we've played back-to-back games. Obviously, a completely different type team, Arkansas, than Mississippi State. And so it was only our second rep of playing the way we've been playing, and I thought we were better. I could keep talking. I don't know if I've answered your question or not. My brain just goes so fast after a game. I apologize.
No, that's great. Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to try to go to Travis Brown, but he's at volleyball, so he may have some problem with noise.
Hey, Coach, we're good. I know you talked about doing some stuff differently. Without, getting into too much detail, it seems like you changed your defensive concept just a little bit from the traditional cover 2. What kind of sparked that? Where did that idea come from, and how well do you think it's worked the last couple?
Is the volleyball team winning?
They're down 2.
They're down 2 games?
17-16 first set.
CC Heck back in for Texas A&M. CC.
So the way it started, Travis, was we thought we were going to play Alabama on what was scheduled to be a Wednesday. I think it would have been the 3rd Wednesday of February. And we were going to play with 6 players. And so we were trying to figure out a way defensively how can we play 200 minutes with 6 players? There was a chance that we were going to have a 7th, but we didn't know that leading up to that game. And then when that game was postponed to Thursday and then eventually canceled, we took that Wednesday off and we're planning to play Arkansas on what was the last Saturday of February. And so in that span, we were able to have 7 practices, but no practices with our entire team. And so I was unsure in preparation for what was scheduled to be Arkansas on that Thursday leading into the Saturday game. Well, should we go back to cover 2 because we've spent whatever practice time we've had working on this new stuff? When we got to Thursday, we had 7. We were planning to practice on that Friday before we went on pause again. And on that Friday, we were going to get to 8. And so I didn't know what to do, give away what we did in February in preparation for a limited roster, or the kids that were watching on Zoom and are able to sit on the sidelines and watch practice, just kind of keep building on it. So on Monday, March the 1st is the first time we had everybody back, and we just kind of kept going. And so we haven't ran cover 2 on Wednesday, a possession, nor today. So everything we're doing is brand new defensively. And then a lot of the concepts offensively, I would say half of it is brand new. Olin was asking about a play. What we're trying to do is add an ATO, who's in the game. And then I look at all these little charts that I draw on all the time and go, okay, who's in the game and how can we get a basket? Because to some degree, as you guys know, we've struggled to score, and how can we create enough points to have a chance to win? And we shot 20 more balls than Mississippi State. Today we shot more ball, or the same number of balls as a top 10 team. And so the thing that hurt us today from a margin standpoint is we just had too many turnovers, and that wasn't the case, obviously, on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, the score is 19-19 in volleyball, by the way. Let's go to Chip Howard. He's the last on the question queue. If you have more questions, send me a note.
As you guys played at a pretty quick pace today, and I know Arkansas likes to play that way, but certainly the first 15 minutes you were very successful. Was that because you were just hitting shots in the rhythm of the game? Is that how it kind of played out?
Yeah, I think Chip, they're top 20 in the country in regards to pace of play. They may actually be top 15. You'd have to study the numbers, but for sure, really fast. They're top 20 in pace, top 20 in offense, top 20 in defense. I do think how it started relative to the rhythm, I think anytime you're able to make consecutive baskets, it kind of gives the team a level of confidence. And we don't have enough evidence to play with a great deal of confidence just because this is the first week we've played in so long. But I do think our guys are playing with a level of confidence and almost liberated, if that's the appropriate word, after what they've been through. Like, man, we're just thankful we're getting to play and let's play for one another. I think that's been, we had 14 assists, which I know we scored a lot of baskets, and sometimes assist numbers have to do obviously with how many points you scored, but that tells you that our guys are playing for one another. And I think that's an attribute that I've been most pleased with. The things we can control: how hard do we play? What's our effort like? What's our attitude? How's our togetherness? And then how's our talk? Because so much of what we're doing is so brand new, and we have to communicate at a high level to be able to kind of keep and hold one another accountable to what our responsibilities are. And I think those 4 things, Chip, over the last week have been bordering on elite with our guys.
Well, to that end, I asked Savion and Q if they were kind of ready for the season to end since it's been such a long, crazy year. And they said, no way, we want to play.
Yeah, and the thing I told them, Chip, after the game, I just respect their guts, because you not Save, not Q, just pick a person. I think with all that has happened, it's much easier emotionally to go, hey, we'll just try it again next year. And I think and maybe this is not to be written or tweeted about, I think what is not said enough is we are only talking and thinking about the season. What we're not talking and thinking about is what has happened since this time last year relative to what each of those guys have been through. It's unprecedented, not for Texas A&M, just every kid, every team, not specific to basketball. It's just, it's historical. We're trying to play sports through a global pandemic, and it has changed how everyone has to operate, not only in the facility, but outside the facility. And so when you only think of it as a coach, or you only think of it as a member of the media, you tend to think just of this game, or, well, they were off since Manhattan, and let's see what happens today. And Vegas thinks, well, it's going to be a blowout because it's Arkansas and they're so good, and Texas A&M's not any good. And then it turns into a game. But what's hard to articulate is what has happened over the last 11 months and 3 weeks, and how that changes your emotional level.
If I could ask one more thing, what did you think about the minutes Luke McGhee gave you today?
I think he's been the MVP of our team the last 2 games relative to what he's been able to give us, his activity level, how hard he's playing, his hands on balls, whether that's defensively, a 50-50 ball in the air on a rebound, changing shots, whether he blocks them or not. Man, I should have been playing him more before now.
Thank you.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Olin Buchanan.
Yeah, Buzz, forgive me if you may have already touched on this, at least to some degree. I asked the guys about this too. You go again on the road to play a team that's won more games than y'all have actually had to play, I believe. And,
Yes, sir.
You see the way the game comes down to it. And I know you're not interested in moral victories, but do you allow yourself to feel good about this one? And how good do you allow yourself to feel?
Yeah, I don't know, Olin. I think obviously the scoreboard is one way to determine winning and losing, but I think there's many different ways to win that are not necessarily on a jumbotron. And I think what I told our guys, if the average age of the players were 20 in this room and the average age of the staff was 40, I think when they're 40, they'll look back at their 20th year and realize that the lessons that they have learned throughout all of this will change their life as people. It'll change their life as men, as husbands, as fathers, the lens in which they view things. And to me, that is some category of winning. And I understand Texas A&M wants to win every single game, home or road, no matter who we play. And I understand that comes with the job. But when this is over, because I won't coach forever, I do think I'll be held to a standard. Did I do right in trying to help others? And so I think in many respects over the last month, we've won a lot. It just hasn't been necessarily on a scoreboard. And I think the character that has been revealed from our kids throughout this, and you guys have been able to see the last 80 minutes of a game, I think in many respects they've won in many categories.
And one last thing I was asked to ask you about, just what makes Arkansas so difficult to slow down?
They're a very good passing team, would be a higher characteristic than I think most would say. They play with 4 guys for sure that can pass, dribble, and shoot at all times, and many times 5. And today they played small, so to say, more so than normal. When 23 was out, I have to not look at the camera, 23 played 13 minutes. So for 287 minutes, they were playing with switchable guys that could all pass, dribble, and shoot, that could guard multiple positions. And because they pass the ball so well, they're able to play fast in transition. And then in the half court, because they can all beat you off the bounce, they force help, whether you're in zone or man, and it creates uncontested shots for them.
All right, thank you. That's great, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, that's all we have for you, Coach. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.